The halls of Willow Creek Elementary School were usually filled with laughter, the squeak of sneakers on polished floors, and the chatter of children excited to learn. Parents trusted the school. Teachers greeted students with warm smiles every morning. It was the kind of place where nothing truly bad was supposed to happen. But in the fall of 2018, something inside that quiet building began to unravel, something no one expected, and something that would leave the community forever changed. Among the staff at Willow Creek was a fifth-grade teacher named Melissa Harding. She had worked at the school for nearly 6 years. At first, parents saw her as strict but dedicated. She demanded discipline in the classroom and often told colleagues that children needed tough lessons to succeed in life. Over time, however, several parents began to complain. Some students said Ms. Harding would scream at them during class. Others claimed she humiliated children in front of their classmates when they answered questions incorrectly. At first, administrators treated the complaints as misunderstandings. Teaching was stressful after all, and discipline sometimes appeared harsher than it was. But the complaints didn't stop. One afternoon, a concerned parent requested a meeting with the principal after her daughter came home crying. The girl said Ms. Harding had slammed a book on her desk and shouted at her just inches from her face. After that meeting, school administrators quietly began monitoring the classroom. Within weeks, the district decided to place Melissa Harding on administrative leave while they investigated the allegations. When she was called into the office and informed of the decision, witnesses later said her reaction was chilling. Her voice reportedly turned cold. "You think you can just destroy my career?" she said. The room fell silent. Then she added something that would later haunt everyone who heard it. "You'll regret this. All of you will." At the time, most people believed it was just anger, an emotional reaction from someone who felt wronged. The investigation continued, and several days later the school district officially terminated Harding's employment. But her anger didn't fade. In fact, it seemed to grow darker. A few days after being fired, one of her former coworkers received a disturbing message from her. The message was long and emotional, filled with accusations against the school and bitterness toward parents and students. Near the end of the message, she wrote something unsettling. "They took everything from me. Maybe now they'll understand what real loss feels like." The coworker considered reporting the message, but hesitated. It sounded unstable, but it didn't seem like a direct threat. At least, that's what people told themselves. Meanwhile, life at Willow Creek Elementary continued as usual. Students returned to class, preparing for tests and school activities. Teachers tried to restore normalcy after the controversy surrounding Harding's dismissal. Administrators assumed the situation was over, but they were wrong. 3 days later, on a quiet Thursday afternoon, 2 fifth-grade students never made it home after school. At first, their parents believed they were staying late for an activity or visiting a friend's house. But as evening passed and phone calls produced no answers, worry turned into panic. By nightfall, police were contacted. Search teams began combing through neighborhoods around the school. Officers checked parks, streets, and nearby walking trails. Volunteers joined the search, hoping the children had simply wandered somewhere. Then investigators made a discovery that changed everything. Security footage from a convenience store near the school showed the 2 children walking together shortly after dismissal. Moments later, a car slowly pulled up beside them. The vehicle belonged to Melissa Harding. Police quickly obtained a warrant and began searching for her. Her phone had been turned off, and her house appeared empty. Neighbors said they hadn't seen her since earlier that afternoon. The investigation suddenly escalated from a missing persons case to something far more serious. News spread rapidly through the community. Parents rushed to schools to pick up their children. Social media filled with fear and speculation. By midnight, police located Harding's car abandoned near a wooded area several miles outside town. Inside the vehicle, investigators discovered disturbing evidence connected to the missing children. Search teams immediately moved into the surrounding woods. The next morning brought devastating news. The bodies of the 2 students were discovered hidden among thick brush, less than half a mile from where Harding's car had been abandoned. The entire community was thrown into shock. For many parents, the reality was almost impossible to process. The person suspected of harming the children wasn't a stranger. She had been their teacher. Police launched a statewide manhunt for Melissa Harding and warned the public that she could be dangerous. As investigators looked deeper into her past, troubling details began to emerge. Former coworkers described her behavior in the months before her dismissal as increasingly unstable. Some said she had become convinced that the school administration was plotting against her. Others recalled moments when she spoke bitterly about parents and students who had complained about her. One teacher remembered a comment Harding once made during a conversation about discipline. "People only understand pain when it happens to them." At the time, it sounded like simple frustration. Now it felt like something far more disturbing. Meanwhile, investigators tracked Harding's movements using surveillance footage and financial records. They believed she was attempting to flee the state. 2 days after the bodies were discovered, a gas station attendant nearly 200 miles away recognized Harding from a news broadcast. The employee quietly contacted authorities. Police rushed to the location. When officers arrived, Harding was still there. Witnesses later said she appeared calm, almost detached, as officers approached her. She didn't resist arrest. According to investigators, her first words after being handcuffed shocked those present. "They ruined my life." During questioning, Harding allegedly admitted that she had been consumed with anger after losing her job. She believed the students' complaints were responsible for her dismissal. In her mind, the children had taken away everything she had built, and she wanted revenge. The motive horrified the community. Parents struggled to understand how someone trusted with the care of children could turn that trust into something so devastating. Memorials soon appeared outside Willow Creek Elementary School. Flowers, candles, and handwritten notes from students covered the sidewalks. Teachers tried to comfort grieving classmates who could not understand why their friends were gone. Counselors were brought in to help students cope with the trauma. But the questions remained. Could the tragedy have been prevented? Looking back, many people realized there had been warning signs. The angry outburst during her termination, the disturbing messages afterward, the growing instability coworkers had noticed. Each moment on its own seemed small at the time, but together, they formed a pattern that now appeared impossible to ignore. Melissa Harding was eventually charged with multiple counts of murder and kidnapping.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.